All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Purple Podcast. This is your host, Austin. Hope you're doing well out there tonight. Whenever this episode is finding you, we're actually recording here tonight on a Tuesday. Trouble Tuesday. What we, might say about this episode here. Welcome to Derry, episode 2 coming at you. This one titled "The Thing in the Dark." Fellas, welcome to the booth. How we doing tonight? How's your week going? Starting off all right? Doing okay?
What you got, Pops?
Hey, life's great for me, guys. I'm in sunny Florida. I'm gonna stay one more week. Austin, this was a better episode, man. I like this. This kind of got us going. So looking forward to diving into this. What'd you think, Griff?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say I'm still in it. I think that I've been a bit bored by a lot of it to this point. I think they're cramming a lot of storylines in at once, and I think it's getting a bit confusing. Now, granted, Austin, you and I watched this pretty late at night on a Saturday, so, maybe that had something to do with it, but just a lot of storylines, and I think things are getting a little more convoluted than I would like, and I myself am actually looking for a little bit more horror. I'm looking for some more scares. I feel like we're getting a few in there, but not as many as I would have expected. So,
Austin, it sounds like you and Griffin had little clinkies going on. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, I absolutely felt the need to watch the episode again.
Yeah.
Having watched it,
I did. I watched it twice this time.
I watched it like 1.5 times.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that we were, too terribly intoxicated by any means. It was just a late night, really, is what it came down to, I think.
It was.
Didn't start that one till probably, it was definitely after midnight. So I think that had a lot to do with it in terms of just general recall. I was just like, what the fuck even happened to this episode when I went to go back and watch it again? But watching it again, same with the first one, I found myself enjoying it a bit more. And with this second episode, and something that you're going to see in a lot of second episodes in any TV show's season, seems like that second episode is a lot of setup. You're going to start off the season. You want to really drop the hammer, which they did, of course. That's actually where we pick up in this second episode, is that last scene from the first episode. But in this one, there's a lot more kind of slow burn and build. We get to learn a lot more about Derry, the type of just atmosphere that place is. It's a cruel, cruel town. And this is something that stimulates from it, in, kind of doing some research about it, having not read the books or being too overly, involved with the story or understanding it. It and his just general malice, he's not active all the time, but his ill will permeates the whole town. And that's why you see the things like these kids kicking other kids' asses and no one batting an eye about it.
Are you saying that it being in Derry is partially responsible for these people's attitudes? Or are you saying that these people are kind of nasty and that's why it likes being there?
I'm saying that it makes people like this.
Oh,
his ill will rubs off on everyone in the town. It just kind of, it radiates some kind of ill will. So the newcomer, that being Charlotte, she hasn't been touched by this. She hasn't been tainted by this ill will. There's even a scene, a really nice one, if you understand her and thinking of it in that kind of way, when they're at the dinner table, her and, Leroy. And she's like, why are you coming at me like this? So there's a little bit of this going on. And obviously, he had a rough day at work, but it's a bit of that at play. And it's the general just malice that goes around and is a part of everyone in the town just by being there. I was thinking when they're in the scene with the teacher, even the teacher is a nasty ass teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
It's like, this is the kid's first day of school.
Will. Yeah. His first day, it doesn't even introduce him. It just kind of sit down, and then they trip him up and everything else. And the teacher's like,
I do think I think it was I think it was a nice little moment when they kind of try to introduce, or not introduce because it had already been introduced by that telescope, but they're trying to present Hanlon's kid as a smart little fella. Because the teacher goes, have you no concept of time? And he says, are you talking about like relativity? And you can tell she kind of is like, oh, what the hell? What do I even say back? So I think that was a nice little moment where you get to see kind of what that little kid's made of too, though.
Well, the other thing is when Charlotte pulls in the driveway, she's giving Leroy a hug. They turn around and she's looking at the house like, wow, this is a pretty house. Looks like this is going to be a nice place. And then the next thing you see is you see a neighbor walk by and basically scowl at him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of to Austin's point. It's like, it's not a real friendly, warm neighborhood community at all.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well, let's look at that scene when I guess the political leader, the mayor of sorts or whatever he is, comes up and shakes down the councilman, shakes down the sheriff. They're trying to pin it on Grogan,
Yeah.
And he says, this isn't America. This is Derry, which I think is very fitting, that this is a kind of upside down, ass backward kind of thing going on here. Obviously, a lot of bigotry, a lot of racism. We're seeing it all at play. And I do think that, going back to this, a second episode of a season, there's a lot of that build. There's a lot of that, what's to come next now, because what we're left with is, Dick Halloran, we see what he's doing. Yep. We see why they've kind of reached out to Leroy as well, because he has a damaged amygdala is what it was. We were right on the money when we were like, felt like this was something that the military was doing, like it was a test.
Yep.
Because what the hell's going on? How did they get in here?
It is nice to know that now. I think it kind of gives a little bit more of a credence, a clarity to that first episode for sure.
It gives clarity, but I still think it's just a horribly planned operation by the military. Like that was your test. Like that's what happened. Like, was that gun loaded? Leroy could have very well taken that gun and shot whoever's head right fucking off, like if that gun was loaded. There's a lot of things that kind of could have gone into that it was just, probably different ways that you could have gone about that. And, what we were left with in the last episode, like, what the hell was that scene? They just walk away and everything's cool again, status quo, whatever, who gives a shit?
Yeah. I mean, they're thinking that, hey, Russians broke into our military camp, beat the hell out of him, had this Moskov pistol.
In that emergency alert, you're probably going to get it in a second here. I don't think you can turn that one off.
No, I'm not sure about that one, guys. But that was like you all commented, on the first episode. That was really odd. And then, okay, well, we've got them running around with fully automatic weapons and everything. That was, I didn't get that. It did help that you hear the colonel or the general tell Leroy, hey, it was a test. But as he said to him, he goes, if you want to report me, you can. I just thought that was really quirky. The whole thing was quirky, but again, it's a TV show, so got to go somewhere with it, right?
I've been pretty interested with just how much overlap with Stranger Things we're having in this show. It's like the Cold War secret weapon. What?
Yeah.
Is it actually just one of Dr. Brenner's little, escape mutants
and
of sorts?
The pickle scene where he's all of a sudden he's starting to kind of build up into her father.
Built up like that. Yeah,
and I'll say this, guys. I'm not trying to be that hater. I'm not trying to be that guy, but I think with how there are a lot of similarities between Stranger Things and Derry, it's pretty noticeable how much better Stranger Things is. And again, I'm not trying to be that
That's
Mr.
right now,
Negative.
Griffin. It may change. You never know.
It could change. We are only 2 episodes in. I don't know. I just haven't been like super. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being nasty. Even some of the. Maybe like, how would you guys rate some of the performances to this point? Have either of you been particularly impressed with any of the portrayals, any of the characters, any of them?
I came away with from this episode really liking Charlotte.
Charlotte,
I really thought
yes.
I thought she was really, really good. I like her and Leroy's chemistry as well. I bought that. I think Will's a nice little sweet nerd. we got rid of Ted, the last Stuart Little, and we just replaced him with Rich. The other, this other tiny old squirt.
Yeah, he might be smaller. Funny. He's a little dude.
He is small. Yeah. Now
I'm not like overly ecstatic, but I'm, Ronnie has grown on me a bit. Lily has grown on me some more.
I will say,
really
I think
lost her marbles.
I think Lily. I've been impressed with the actress portraying Lily. I would give her some credit. Is that a Clara? Is that her name?
Clara Stack is what I'm seeing here.
I was going to say, Griff, I completely agree, because I think her acting just kind of shines, whereas some of the others, it's okay. It's okay. But again, I think we're comparing this to Stranger Things, and we are compared to Stranger Things, and a lot of the acting in Stranger Things, one, we all love the actors, we love those characters, but those actors are fantastic, and that's why that show's a number one out there. Let's call it what it is. But I will say, I think Lily is holding up her end really well. And Austin, I think you're right. I thought Charlotte was a real nice new character to bring into the story.
Yeah, I like Charlotte and Will. I like the addition of both of them in this. And, we got to see a little bit more of Dick as well. Kind of an interesting story. Like he's kind of, he has these special privileges of sorts. So he's just kind of screwing around in this town and, having fun with it to a degree. But, it's coming to nut cutting time. Shit's about to start shaking. The drum beat's picking up here. So that's a lot of, I've already said it. That's a lot of what this episode was. And no one's really like, Charlotte was probably my favorite. She's probably my favorite character that we've had in the season so far. Thought she was just really, really good in this, sweet, kind, caring. I want to see if she gets tainted by this world or this town of Derry or whatever it may be. But, I just really liked how she stood up for those kids. She goes out there and does something about it. And then you have the dinner scene where she's talking about it too. Kids will stand tall and have integrity. I thought it was just real great stuff from her there. But, the ones that I haven't been or wasn't necessarily sold on, and still am not entirely sold on in the first episode, I'm beginning to like a little bit more. I'm getting a little more familiar with them, and I'm a little more invested in their characters and who they are. That being, Ronnie and Lily. Lily she's been really great in this one too. Like it's a psychological thriller. So the tone is a lot different than Stranger Things. I think there's things that Stranger Things does way better, but there is like a really just awful terror element to this one. And Lily, having lost her marbles in that horrible scene where she's with the sheriff and he's like, oh, you're going to either go back to St. Juniper or you're going to pin this on an innocent man. And she ends up there anyways. So I guess she probably should have, just told the truth. I mean,
oh gosh,
rough stuff. Sad sack Lily returns.
Sad sack. Yeah. And that's a great point, Austin. Like, I do think it'll be interesting to see if Charlotte gets kind of pulled in. I kind of am more of the opinion or the prediction that she would be someone who's going to continue saying, is anyone else seeing this? This is insane. Why is this happening? Because, I think that was her reaction immediately.
And Griffin, Leroy points out, hey, you remember in Shreveport, hey, we had an incident there where, you wouldn't bend. They make that comment. So she's going to push back, guys. If she sees something that does not look right, she's not opposed to pushing back. So I definitely think you're going to see her make some waves, which, that's kind of what, as Austin said, that's kind of what this series needs. It needs, it needs that shining light. It needs someone that's going to stand up for the good guys. And I think she's it.
Yeah, I'm really feeling this town and the weight of it. It's like, God, you guys, you got to get out of here. There's no escaping Derry. This place.
Why do you live there? In
Bottomless
Austin,
pit.
Austin, did you ever play any of the Fallout video games, or did you watch that? Was it a movie adaptation?
There's a show, and it's supposed to be really good. I have not. I've played the games, but minimally.
I think it's got our boy Walter. I think it's got our boy Walton Goggins in it, doesn't it? I think so.
Yeah,
the show.
But,
the show.
Well, I was just thinking, and it's not revolutionary, but there are a lot of similarities between Derry and Fallout, from what I know too. I mean, I'm in the classroom scene right now where Lily and Marge are speaking, and they had something on the wall about like radioactive fallout or something to that effect. Just prepping the kids, and we had Bert the Turtle in the first episode, and like you said, nuclear war is so at the forefront. And if we're still in 1962, wasn't the Cuban Missile Crisis like 61? Am I wrong about that?
They mentioned that, and that's why they had Leroy coming in. They mentioned they're putting ballistic missiles in Cuba so they can reach anywhere in the continental U.S.
It kind of is similar in that way. We're almost looking at like this kind of pre-apocalyptic world, and even the way that the filmography is done, the coloring of the footage, it kind of gives you that feeling of like something just is not quite right. There is a kind of eeriness to everything, which
the music choice, something that we get at the very beginning of this that we didn't have in the first episode, the credit scene, which shows a lot of I was talking to you guys, I watched an Easter egg kind of video, hidden details, things. Obviously, a lot of purposeful choices in that intro credit scene, and the horrors that you're seeing in that intro credit. A lot of that stuff is ripped directly from the book and things that had happened. Something that we see at the very end, that car that they pull out with the people. Yeah. Those were those gangsters in the shootout in that very beginning. Apparently, there was a big shootout that, going back to it and his presence having an impact on everyone there. He wasn't, from what I know, wasn't directly involved with that shootout that killed all those people or whatever it was, this massacre. But in terms of how it happened and what went into those people's motivations, his impact and his just evil spirit and nature that rubs off on the whole town has a lot to do with these atrocities that always are happening here. Well, it's a cursed town.
This is a little interesting, and I don't know how truthful this is. I don't know if you saw this when you were doing your research, Austin, but I actually read that some people, how Dick gives our guy that little wink, how he gives Hanlon that wink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I was reading that someone basically was hypothesizing that Dick Halloran actually has maybe more of a know-how regarding where it or this presence might be, or maybe he kind of just understands better than most why it is not to be messed with. And I was reading that some people were saying that they think he kind of directed the military to this location of this previous shootout as a kind of distraction, as a kind of like, hey, look at this, maybe this is what it is, when really he has a better idea of where this presence actually would be. And I don't know if that's true, but kind of going further, if I could, we already established that Dick Halloran is from the Stephen King universe, The Shining, right, Austin?
Yes. And he has the shine.
He has the shine, which apparently, Dad, is to have the shine in this universe, in Stephen King's world, is to kind of have a greater understanding of the supernatural, just a greater sense for that which is supernatural. Apparently, Dick Halloran has that ability. So the things I was reading were saying basically the reason he's in this position is because he has this shine. And they think that he kind of is, distracting the military right now with this crash so that they don't uncover the real atrocity going on because of how dangerous it is. Sorry to kind of hog that moment, but that was just something I thought was really interesting. Did you see that, Austin?
No, I mean, that's absolutely what he is. And they say that verbatim. That's why he's here. He's directing them towards this weapon that they don't fully understand. My maybe, biggest gripe of the episode is, just the military being so idiotic again. You think you're going to be able to harness this power, this thing that you don't know where it's at, that can make people scared to death. You think you're going to be able to harness this power to prevent nuclear war?
Nuclear war.
What? That's the grand fucking plan?
Hey, man.
Pretty fucking stupid. But that's what they're after. They're trying to find him, and they're going to try to harness the power of it. And they're aware, which is pretty interesting. I don't know if that's established. I don't know if this. I don't think this storyline is in the book, actually. The military side of things. I think this is something that they introduced. I could be saying something wrong here, but yeah, it's an interesting look into it, and their choice to go after this and thinking that it's going to be something that they can, like I said, wield to prevent nuclear war. I guess it's just the whole throw shit at the fan and see what sticks kind of thing with the.
Well, I'm sure there's a big
nuclear fallout.
I'm sure there's a big worry, and people are just throwing anything at the wall, like you said. And kind of, let's do this, Dad. This might have been a little bit before your time, but do you recall any of that panic around nuclear war? Were you ever, was that a thing back when you were in school? Like, hey, get to the bunker. Was that before your time, Dad, or did you experience any of that?
No, I did not, Griffin. We had heard of bomb shelters, of course. That was something, in the 70s that the kids had talked about people building bomb shelters. I did not live in one of those neighborhoods where there was a bomb shelter, of course. But no, we had definitely heard of it. So knew about it.
Would have been a little bit closer to you than, say, me and Austin.
Oh, I would say yes to answer your question. No doubt. No doubt.
Griff, I got a question.
Go ahead, Austin. This guy's, it reminds me, again, we talk about what these this reminds me of Indiana Jones, and at the beginning where
the crystal skull.
You could look at any of the Indiana Jones. Funny. They're trying to find something that gives them these powers, and again, every time that you try to do that, what happens? Yeah. It's something
you end up getting turned to dust.
Yeah, your eyes.
You get shot through one of those what was that little that fake home that he gets shot through in a refrigerator? Y'all remember that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But all of those. A lot of these just kind of it's like they all have kind of the same little plot here. But I do think, and I keep saying it, I'm very optimistic that this is gonna pick up. I think it's gonna be a lot better. What was that operation called, Austin? Operation Precept? Is that what they called it?
I'm not sure what the name was.
It is Precept.
Looking for a weapon, it creates debilitating fear. Mm-hmm. Is what it is. And that's why he was so excited about, Leroy, as Austin talked about earlier.
Yeah, because he doesn't have the fear.
He doesn't have
damaged. Yeah, it's damaged in his brain. So, Griff, I'm going to ask you this question, then we'll hop into kind of our favorite scenes of this episode. But, it does sound like you've been relatively critical. And I think, we all have been relatively critical of this. We're not fully in on saying it's a masterpiece. I'm starting to enjoy it. I'm taken to it some. I'm looking forward to the next episode, and if that's happening, it's keeping my interest enough, and I can't be too much of a downer about it. But I would like to hear what's your number one gripe or thing that's just maybe peeving you the most about it, just not where it's making it to where it's not something that you're ecstatic about.
Yeah. It's just missing a little bit of that. It's really tough to put any sort of actual concrete thing to. It's missing a little bit of that oomph for me, that dynamic. It's a little stagnant for me. It feels a little bit robotic. The acting,
it's very slow.
Yeah, the acting isn't really. There's good moments, but it's just falling a little bit flat for me in most ways. It just doesn't have that real energy. Like, with we'll talk about Stranger Things just because that's the other show we're watching right now, or even The Last of Us. Like, I just feel like there was a bit more personality that was coming through in those characters. You felt more
bigger names, bigger stars in that one.
Bigger
too.
stars. You just felt more connected to what was happening. You cared more. I'm really struggling to care about a lot of what's happening because I'm just not being super moved by the performances. And I mean, I'm not claiming that I'm some amazing critic. It's one of those things when you experience it, you know whether or not it's good or you like it. And I'm just not getting moved for the most part. It's kind of like, this kind of just feels like it feels like it's running through the motions a bit in most ways.
I would say what it is, and if I was, my guess for you, because I'm having the same thing. Just it's starting to, the tides are turning a little bit. It's an attachment thing. You're just not that attached to the characters right now. You're not that invested in anyone, so it's just kind of happening. You're just seeing it, and there's the fun of the, when it shows. It's going to be. That's something that'll really pick up the show, I think, is when we finally do get Pennywise. I do think it's good that they're showing some of his other, I think incantations is the right word for him, because this is like a way he presents himself. It is a spell of sorts and how he's showing himself and, frightening these children. We got a couple good ones again in this one. I thought the Ronnie birth scene was a really good one. I think that might have been the best version of it in the best.
It's funny that's happening. That's happening on my screen right now. The thing is, man, that's why I said at the very beginning of this episode, I wanted more horror. I wanted more of the shock factor because that scene was a really good one. That one had you glued to the screen. I think the scene in the supermarket with Lily and her damn dad in the pickle jars, that was freaky. And that's what you're looking for with a show like this. And I just feel like there's too much dead air going on. It's like, oh my God, this is boring. It's just like, it's boring the piss out of me in a lot of ways.
I think what's happening is, why I'm kind of, I'm getting into the mystery a bit more, but it has remained pretty surface level. There's that uneasy and unsettled feeling that you're having with the town, with everyone in there and what's going on around. There's more to all of this shit that's happening. We get to see some Native Americans in this, and they show these purposeful shots of them. They show a couple or a group of them watching the dig site, kind of with some kind of disdain maybe. And also I guess there's a shop that Charlotte goes into, it's run by a Native American woman, and going into the lore of it, they trapped it for a while with some kind of, what they end up trapping him with in one of the movies. There's some kind of, like, I'm not sure what it's called, but there's a word for it. They trapped it for a couple feeding cycles or something. So the Native Americans know this evil that he is, and that's probably why they get some of that. So there's a lot of that, and we just haven't quite, literally dug deep enough yet. That's what they're doing. You got to go underneath. But I think it's remained on the surface level, and it just hasn't dug too far into that yet. Going back to the Ronnie scene with the birthing scene, I think one of the best parts of that is that we see his eyes, or its eyes.
Yeah.
And those are those eyes are a huge thing, the part of it, the vision, the sight that you see from that. So that was spooky, and that was one of the better scenes, no doubt. Let's get into our favorite scenes here, guys. Do you have one? I guess let's start with you, Mike. We'll probably be talking about the same things when we get back to Griff.
Well, Austin, there's 3 scenes in this that I thought, again, and that's the reason why I'm hopeful. Again, guys, I can give a flying rat's patoot if they show it. I don't need all that. I mean, but I agree with Griffin. I mean, I think it has got to rear his ugly ass face to make this series much improved. I agree. Let me say this before I get into guys, I don't know. Is it me or does that Marge just? There's something about that little creepy. That is a creepy ass little kid. See, even your phone knows, Austin. I think that's a creepy ass kid. She freaks me out. There's something just really weird about that kid. I know I shouldn't be picking on a kid, but she just either that or they've cast the perfect little girl, if that's what they were shooting for. But she's a weird little girl. So I think there's more a Kreskin moment here. I think there's more to come from her. I think you're going to find out. She would
definitely turn on an MF, and get you.
Hey, that face of hers. You just watch the way she smiles sometimes. I kind of get this. I kind of get this indicator like that little creepy. There's something wrong. But back to Austin's question. Best scenes are Robin when she is basically the bed. Her mom
Ronnie
is. Did I say Robin? Jesus. And I wrote it down 10 different times. Ronnie. Thank you, Oz. Yep. Ronnie. The bed gives birth to Ronnie, and that was just pure disgusting. And she goes out. And then the mom jumped from the bed. Creepy. She is the bed, and she starts saying things like, all I wanted to do was hold my baby, and you killed me. And now you're killing your father, and you killed those kids. It was that's some evil shit right there, guys. Yeah. That was some evil shit right there.
Sure.
I mean, man, Austin, do I continue or do you want me to hit the others?
Keep on rocking, man.
All right. Lily, here's You're Crazy. Women, that woman's head goes, and she twists her head off. That was weird. That guy runs down the alleyway at her.
Those were,
That was weird shit. You see in the background, you're going, wow, that is really freaking me out. Stuff like that freaks me out.
I think that was even more effective than, her father becoming a squid from out of the pickle remnants.
Yes.
Just seeing the people following her and
you should be locked up. You're insane. Have you lost your marbles? The cornflakes.
Marbles annihilate.
Yeah. Cornflakes have Pennywise on the cornflakes along with Maddie's picture. Sees her dad in the pickles. Guys, I know you probably haven't seen this movie, but if you've seen Weird Science, when Chet turns into shit, I swear, man, I started laughing. I was like, oh my God, pickle Rick over there. He's shit. He's like, the face. Yeah, that was great. And then my last one, guys, and then I'll let you guys take over, is Leroy sees the restricted area. He visits Majors, and he sets that Makarov down, and he has one of them that's loaded. He puts the clip right beside it, and he starts questioning him and saying, hey, dude, I know that wasn't you. I know you're a racist SOB and all of this, but I know you didn't do it. And he starts questioning him about the gun, knowing that there's no way he knows anything about it. Finally, he pushes enough buttons on Majors that he finally puts the clip in, and you guys know, because you've shot enough pistols, where you're trying to bring the slide back and it wouldn't work. And Leroy says, hey, I knew it. And he's smiling like, I knew this all along. And then he goes to see the general. So those are my three. Those are the ones, like I said, those are the ones that are engaging me into this. I really don't want to see the evil parts, but it's coming. I know it is. This dude, as you all keep pointing out, it's a very dreary movie. I'm not vested in the characters yet. I don't like the characters. The only ones I like Lily. I kind of like Leroy. He seems like a good guy. And thank goodness for Charlotte. Yeah. She's going to kind of carry the show, I hope. That's it for me, guys.
All right.
Nice.
What you got, Griff? And if we've already talked about it, we don't have to go ad nauseum.
No, it's all right. I'll call out a sleeper scene that I think was pretty good. My sleeper would actually be when we see Dick and his buddies, the others at the bar. I think that was a pretty good scene. Just kind of, again, like you said, Austin, showing a bit of that kind of bigotry that exists in Derry. We see that the corruption. Time to go. And, Dick just, like you said, guiding his boys and saying, hey, we need to get out right now.
There's the shine, right?
Let's go drink. Let's go drink some moonshine.
Even with him having that kind of, enhanced authority or, distinction. I just thought that was a good scene. I thought it showed a lot with just a little, and that kind of was just, nice sleeper scene that I enjoyed and that I got a bit of depth out of. And I also think that one was pretty well performed. I think that
I like Dick. I think Dick's going to be good.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a good character.
Yeah. Oh, he is.
Super secret spy mission.
Yeah. That's really cute.
I was impressed by that scene and I enjoyed that. So that'd be my sleeper scene.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a few. I think my favorite one is honestly that whole scene of Charlotte just walking down, Main Street in Derry. I thought there's something unnerving about it. It looks like a friendly town on the surface, but there's little hints here and there. Kids are out of school drinking, posted up, smoking. There's that fight. Even the conversation she has with the butcher, like he seemed like a nice enough guy, but I don't know. You just start questioning everything here. You don't know who the hell this damn clown could be in some senses. Yeah. In some cases.
What's the Paul Bunyan thing, by the way? Why do they not want Paul Bunyan going up?
I don't know. I guess they just don't like it.
Just people.
I don't know what the actual purpose is. They're just
Griffin. The whole town's pissed off at everything. Yeah, they don't like anything.
Well, even
and spitting all their cornflakes.
While she's walking, Austin, a dude throws a freaking egg at her, doesn't he?
He throws it at Bunyan.
He throws it at Paul Bunyan.
Okay. Yeah. Well, still, it's like just. Yeah, I didn't get that exactly, but what can you say, man?
Yeah. But also, we already said the Ronnie scene, her, being birthed, crazy shit there. Pretty heavy when they take her father away too. Ronnie's got some chops. She's done well. I think she's done well in her part.
She's a good little actress too.
She calls out Lily.
I'm not engaged.
Yeah, I hear you. I like when Marge walks down the hallway and Rich, the one scene basically we get the Rich, he just starts hearing music staring at her. I just thought it was kind of funny, that little squirt. He's gonna God, he might be one of those throwaway characters though, Mike. We might not see him for too long.
Yeah.
He's an easy
He might get stepped on or something.
He might get eaten.
Yeah. But Mike, you said, you're waiting for the evil stuff to happen. We saw something pretty damn evil, and it was that sheriff making Lily, pin it on Mr. Grogan.
That was bad.
Or you're going back to the fucking nut house where they do lobotomies and shit, as we saw from the opening credits too. They showed that.
And all of them had that evil ass smile too, Austin. When she got out of the car,
all rubbing off. It's all permeating from that goddamn clown in the sewers, man. That's what it is. And I think that might be the most intriguing part of this, is just that consideration with everything that I'm watching. That's what's interesting me a lot, I think, is kind of just paying attention to those undertones and what's actually happening. Because all the stuff on the surface level seems pretty straightforward, but there's just so much shit that's going on behind the scenes and what's making these people, how they are, this cursed town. But yeah, the last real big one is, Lily losing her marbles, and then she gets taken away, man. That is just sickening stuff. We talk about Stranger Things, and we've seen some terrible stuff in Stranger Things, but this one is just really icky feeling shit, like a series of unfortunate events type icky, just worst case scenario shit, like torture, hell on earth kind of feel, right? And goddamn poppers and Kamchatka. There's some weird shine to Stranger Things though. It's like candy. None of it seems that serious. This feels a lot more serious, right?
For sure. There's a darker tone.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Favorite characters of the episode. I already said mine. I got Charlotte all the way. But I think Leroy had some good stuff with Charlotte in this. I thought that was good. I like Will. Nice little kid. He's probably another one. God, there's going to be some kind of torment of Will, and it's going to be hard to see it. He just seems like a nerdy old kid. But yeah, you want to root for him. I do want to root for him.
Yeah, he's eating his lunch in the hallway.
Yeah,
with a little.
He gets stink bombed,
and he gets stink bombed, guys. I know that didn't go on at your old school, but stuff like that.
It literally did.
Did it really? Okay.
Yeah, I know we had. I don't know if it was a stink bomb, but there was at least like it. You didn't light it on fire, but there was some kind of spray that people did. And
oh boy, yeah, we had actual stink bombs that kids would do. Now that's when
I think it might have been called like ass gas or something.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah,
that is horrible. It smelled
like
man.
hell. It smelled like like the fair or something. Just livestock and poo.
It smelled like it in the sewer, right?
So stupid.
Oh man, that's
so
bad.
Dumb. Mine's gonna be Lily still. I'm gonna hold it down with Lily. I think because it's hard to pull off some of those hyper emotional, freaked out scenes. And
go ahead and press that side button.
She's doing it okay. Yeah. Oh God, look at his head. Look at how his head looks without his ears showing. It's so odd looking. Turn your head sideways again. Look at that. That's odd. You gonna get those headphones I sent you, Dad? What do you think?
You know what? It depends if I'm coming back in December. If I come back in December, I don't want to drag all these microphones and headphones along. But if I do, it will be. I'll order them and I'll have them in Louisville. I'll keep them in Louisville. But yeah, I thought those were real nice, guys. Appreciate you all putting the time into that. That would definitely work for me. I'm kind of waiting on one of these microphones to go on sale. Is what I'm waiting on.
There you go.
Yeah, you're good for it, Mike.
Yeah.
You got a favorite character? Did you already say yours?
I kind of, I said it earlier. I like Charlotte. I like
Charlotte with me. All right.
Yeah, that's probably it. Again, I can't stand that little Marge. That's horrible. Horrible.
That's funny.
Like her different colored eyebrows or something.
There's something about her face, and I think it's the.
Just want to punch it. It's just.
She's got that. She flips the script too quick. She just flips the script too quick. She acts like she wants to be the kids' friends, but then she'll do anything. And I really
she's just like a leech, She's
I think she's gonna be evil as hell, guys. I really do. I think it's gonna get to her if he hasn't already.
Yeah. I'll go with Rich as my sixth man. Then maybe Terry Brainbridge. Whew, she was all right looking, huh?
Oh, that's Lily's mom, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Bainbridge. I even noticed that.
Six man, I'd call the pipsqueak. I think that guy.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I thought he was a cute little fella. I liked him. Yeah, he's a little bitty cat, man. I think he's gonna be one of those throwaway characters, Oz. I think he's gonna get eaten or something. Maybe
not a lot of meat on those bones, though. Come on.
Yeah, maybe old Pickle Rick's gonna eat that. I don't know.
Funny.
Golly.
And I already told you my side sack. It's Lily. It's Lily again. Could be Hank Grogan, but I'm still going with Lily.
Yeah,
I think you have to go with Lily. I mean, Hank's he's just in jail. I mean, she's in a lot worse than that. Yeah, that's horrible. Poor thing. That was awful when she's sitting there and her dad turned, he give a kiss to daddy. You're like, oh man, that was awful. Poor kid.
It's like mouth.
Oh, that was bad, guys. God.
Name some things, fellas.
Guys, let me kick this off. I'm going to say, and this was because I like Charlotte's character. How about pushback? I think she's pushing back on the town.
Light in the darkness.
Yeah, stink bombs. I thought that was, I love that. Again, I remember that as a kid. Boys will be boys. I couldn't believe that the town actually said that.
Yeah, what are you going to do about it?
Giving, oh my God, I had giving birth, backwards. I mean, that was horrible. She gives birth and then tries to pull her back in.
That's one of his themes, Austin.
That was just awful. Hey, it is a theme. Bird.
Pickle Man.
Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick. What am I thinking? Pickle Rick. Balloons.
Yeah, it's a good theme.
What's Griffin always say? Justice, or what's the stupid one?
Truth.
Truth. Yeah. Guys, that's about it. I've run out after that, but I did have a couple more, but I don't want to hear your all's pie-hos.
All right.
Hey,
Griff, hit it. What's your themes?
I don't want to take it from you, Austin. I'll let you grab it this go round, but I mean, kind of the I'm trying to think of what you'd say, but just the whole like atomic wasteland vibe going on. I think that's
Cold War.
I think you see that pretty presently. I think we're getting even more of the bigotry in this scene. And,
it really is.
You're getting...
It's uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable to watch.
It is uncomfortable.
You know what, guys? Maybe that's
as it should be, right?
Maybe that's some of this because it's so damn uncomfortable. When you see the guys at the bar, when you see Dick and his team at the bar, you go, oh man, this isn't gonna be good. They're sitting by themselves. You see people at the bar kind of looking up. Guys, it just felt real uncomfortable to me.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't thoroughly bought in because there's no one going, that's bullshit. Hey, Dick, you guys come on over here and have a drink with us.
Well, you got to think
you're not seeing.
You got to think this was 1962.
I mean, these are the guys that are trying to kill an innocent man. They're pinning this horrific crime on him. Like that's the most uncomfortable part to me. It's like how hard they're trying to do this. And the guy's like, he's got a perfect alibi. Nothing says he was there. Fuck it.
Yeah, they still go after him.
Doesn't matter. This is
horrible.
Derry.
Yeah,
and I think
awful.
my main theme for this one is just it's exactly on that. It's just there's something not right. There's something really eerie, very uncomfortable, very odd about this place. And I think it does make a lot of sense, Austin, now that I'm hearing from you that it has that effect on the people and the things that it is around. So that makes a lot of sense to me that people kind of have that very odd, almost inhuman way about them in this town. I think that's the biggest theme I'm getting.
Yeah. I mean, that's my number one. Some other ones I have, and it couples up with it, the bullying. There's constant bullying at this school and in this town. These kids are just horrible and no one's stopping it. No one gives two shits. The big
Allison, even the teacher, as you pointed out, I mean, that could be a form of, but she's a horrible ass teacher.
She's an asshole. Like,
I can't stand her either.
Yeah, she's boys will be boys. Shawshank Redemption. I mentioned that on the last episode. I said, I wonder if we're going to hear about Shawshank. They mention it. The intro credits, the Andy Griffith Show, which is one that I actually did watch a little bit growing up. So interesting to hear that come up. We mentioned Clue. We had just played Clue that night when they have a reference to it with the candlestick and the whatever.
Yeah.
Sam Cooke, You Send Me. Awesome song played.
Yes.
Hell yeah. I think just like family lineage thing, and this is something I haven't touched on really in this episode yet, but all these characters, we see them down the road, and I'm going to go back and watch the movies now. I might try to watch one tonight, the first one of it. Leroy, Hanlon, these last names, they overlap. Leroy is literally in the movies. I didn't remember that at all. The sheriff in town, his last name is like Browers, I think, or something like that. There's a bully in the movies.
Bowers.
Yeah, there's a bully in the movie named Bowers, and his dad is a policeman. So this just like family kind of legacy line and generational kind of, the bad guys are the bad guys and the good guys are the good guys kind of thing through this town. I think Leroy, that Hanlon line is the good line, but it's just a lot of this that kind of goes, no one's escaping Derry. Why are you guys not getting out of this fucking
Get the hell out of that town.
Get the hell out of this. The same with Hawkins. It's like, get the hell out of Hawkins. But I guess the thing is, and what we're going to find out is it follows you though, right? You got to get back there. You got to go back. So that's what we're seeing in Stranger Things. That's what, in it, if you go to chapter 2 of the movies, the kids all move away, but it comes back, and it draws them back somehow. So you can never really escape it somehow. You can't get out of there. So I think that first scene with Maddie is very fitting in that, he's all he's doing is trying to leave. He's trying to go to Portland. He's legitimately trying to leave the town, but they just keep driving. And then the next thing you know, they're arriving back in town.
Give us every time I try to get out, they pull me back in.
Yes, the Godfather. I was thinking it the whole time. I didn't want to interrupt him. Every time they pull me back in. Yes.
Yeah,
boys.
Oh,
time is a flat circle. Calling on True Detective there. I don't know if you guys have seen that season 1. Woo! Talk about an HBO show that kicks ass.
I think that's one Zach recommended. He was like, dude, that's like some of the best TV I've ever seen. So
yeah, the seasons fall off. It's like an anthology series, same world kind of thing.
That was it.
Yeah, the first season is just electric. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. Where does the show go? Well, let's do something. Let's resurrect. Let's Lazarus something here.
Oh.
And I've already seen them, so I'm not gonna contribute this week. But the IMDb ratings, where we're sitting at. I'm just gonna ask you this: preference between 1 and 2. Which one do you like more?
Oh, Austin, there is absolutely, positively no doubt that people are going to like 2 over 1. I thought 1 was slow. I thought it was a slow blow, as we like to call it. This one's picked up. This one, like I said, there was 2 scenes in the first one. This one had the 3 scenes that I thought were really, really good. And, you guys pointed out a couple sleepers, I thought. But this one it's giving you a little bit more meat. It's giving you a little bit more meat to the story.
Oh, the local meat expert's back, eh?
Yay, maybe so. But this one, I'm going to say it. There is not a doubt.
Cleaver.
Yes. Griff, what do you think? 1 or 2? Although
kind
that
of a
scene
toss-up.
in number 1 kicked ass when they're at the movies and they threw that little devil out. That was kick ass.
It's a little bit of a toss-up for me. Like, I think that it's very possible that people would say 2, but if you already didn't like 1 and then 2, I could see people who already didn't like 1 getting to 2 and being like, screw this, I'm done. And I could see it kind of going either way. I'm going to give a slight advantage to episode 2 myself.
Yeah. Episode 1 sitting at an 8.0 on IMDb. And
what?
8.0.
That's not a very good rating. It's just like fine. That's what that means. 8.0 means fine.
And 8.0, that was higher than a lot of the Last of Us episodes.
Well, people bombed that one for, the gayness and some the gay themes sometimes.
Oh,
so that's what we'd see in the
last how we disagree with
8.1. Those people might be smoking crack.
8.0, Griff.
That's a horrible call.
All right, number 2.
I don't think 8.0 is a horrible call. I mean, that's fine.
Out of 10?
I would go lower, but I don't think
I would have gone lower.
I would go lower, but
I'd give it like a 5. I'd give it like a
6.5.
You're being too critical, Griff. That's not even possible to get that low of a score.
Oh.
All right, what's 2, Austin?
7.8. So they're right around the range.
So
I prefer the second. I prefer the second. Let's go through these kind of thoughts here. I think the second was a better all-around episode. I think the best scene of the show so far is probably the Maddie scene for me. That twist was just really good. I don't know if I love like all the babiness element of it, but it was a way to fucking start a show. But the twist is what really got me, in that he was trying to escape and it's like, oh, no, you're not, bro. So that was really good. But I think the big stain on one for me was that scene with Leroy. Like I was adamantly opposed to that. And even understanding the reasoning, I don't think it was very effective. I don't think it was all that well thought out. I think it just, whatever. I didn't think it was very good there. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about the show so far. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. I think it's fine. I think it has potential to go above that mark in the coming episodes, and I think it will when we get Pennywise on screen. I think
I can believe
inevitably that's going to be awesome. I'm liking Dick. I'm liking Leroy a little more with the inclusion of his family being there. Just gives him a little more, a little more roundness to his character, I guess you could say. Something that he's actually out there living for and caring for. You're going to have his son, so there's a lot of that kind of. I guess just cause and effect kind of thing. Whatever happening to his son's going to rub off on him. Whatever happened to Charlotte, there's going to be a lot of those kind of family dynamics. And I do like that family. I like Charlotte. That's what we found from this episode. She really kicks ass. So I think it's getting there. I think it's getting better. I think it's getting more interesting. I mean, Lily's at the cuckoo nest now, so there's going to be some interesting things coming. I'm excited for it. I am. I would be lying if I said I wasn't. Even though I am, we've been critical. We've gotten that point across, I think.
Oh, no doubt. Griffin, final thoughts?
Well, all I gotta say is, regardless of how negative or unimpressed I have seemed up to this point, obviously, I love doing this. I'm having fun, and I am interested to keep watching. I think it's going to end up being worth it. And I agree with Yas. I think once we get Pennywise on screen for real as a clown, I think that we're going to start having some real fun. So I'm enjoying it. Appreciate you boys. And Purple Podcast, y'all already know, to the top. Keep it going. You said in the last 30 days, Yas, we've had 70 downloads. So 70 listens on platforms, I guess.
I mean, that's just the podcast too, and we are a video podcast.
We're a video podcast.
It is now 60. Yeah, we got another one during the episode, so not so bad. Things are moving.
Bad. We're having fun,
69, and nice.
When you're at the bottom, the only way to go is up. So believe in us. We believe in ourselves. So Purple Podcast boys, what you got, Pops?
Guys, give us some feedback. This one's not super. Again, we're very critical of this one. I can't believe
we're really not though. Like, just go on Reddit. You're gonna see some worse. Yeah,
you're probably, and that's where I was going. Austin is honestly, I can't believe I am as positive as I have been about this. I think at least. Through what you guys have fed me, we've talked about, I've learned quite a bit about it. I'm watching it twice. And that way, some of it kind of soaks in. Now that I know a little bit more about Dick's character, that really helps me out. That makes me like that character more. Again, give us some feedback. Tell us what you're liking, what you're disliking. Hopefully you're not disliking, but if you are, give us that feedback. We want to know how we're doing, what we could do different. Platform. I think these two, again, I say it every week. If you haven't watched the reels, I've been in Florida. I have not been able to spend as much time watching. I did watch one. I swear I had tears running down my eyes. Austin, you killed it early this week. That was funny stuff. That may have been one of your best, by the way. So continue on, son. You are kicking ass. Guys, please take a look at some of these reels. Tell your friends about these. They are really, spread the news. Because, they are funny. And again, I hate even when, I turned my head earlier. These two will probably do something with my head turned with these headphones on. So it's probably going to be a great joke. I'm sure I just messed up by doing that. So continuing on, guys.
Yep. Continuing on with it. Welcome to Derry. And what a spooky town that is. I think that's probably the biggest thing we got from this episode is just how, nasty this town is. So
it is
we'll keep living. We'll keep living in it, each Sunday, going forward. But you back at home, if you've listened all the way through, as always, you rock. We love you, sending it out your way. As always, as well, share it around. That won't hurt. Spread the news, as we said. If you're not liking it, roast us, man, and make it funny, though. Come correct. Don't just put some bullshit out there, because we'll come back and we'll sting that ass too.
Been known to do that.
Yeah.
It's
funny. We got it on camera too. But all right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your week, or wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. Do your best. Keep living well. We will be. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.